What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another stream. It's Thursday night. This weekend's a long weekend. It's Easter long weekend. I have an awesome project tonight that, in typical Adam Taylor stream time, I am ill prepared for. I'm making this freaking sick, massive catch can for an R34 GTT, not a GTR. This thing is a 7 litre full capacity, works out to about 5.5, 5.8 litre by the time you take out the inlet height, like water level. It is a, let's cruise into the looking screen. So I have labelled it here. Man, I wish I could take this camera off. So right here I've engraved, this is not going to be powder coated, but I've engraved sump and just put a circle around this inlet, and I've written rocker cover here and put a circle around the two that are for the rocker cover. These are going to have -12, which is going to make it exciting to weld because I want to keep inside of that that engraved line there. So they're going to be fun to weld when we get there. So basically, I've labelled those because I don't want to touch this with my greasy hands. So the sump portion, there is no way. So you can see with the inlet side, the rocker cover inlet, you can see the labyrinth baffles in there. How do I get you to see in there? I can't. So in the sump section, I've actually completely sectioned that off to be an entire chamber. So basically, the crankcase pressure can vary quite a lot between the rocker cover and the sump. So having them all go into one void can often pressurize the tank and spew oil out of the breather, especially if during a catastrophic failure or when the ring lands, the ring grooves line up, which does happen. The rings spin on top of the piston or around the piston. Sometimes all 3 to 5 rings, I guess if you count all the oil rings, can line up, and you can get increased pressure through there as well. So generally that affects the sump pressure, the sump crankcase pressure, more than the rocker cover side, because there are tubes and galleries, and the rocker cover has its own sort of baffle system. Anyway, so I've completely sectioned that off with its own section and baffles inside there, and then my general or my normal labyrinth baffle system for the inlets. My outlet plate, this is actually quite a lot larger than my regular outlet plate, only because we're allowing for 3 inlets instead of 2 on a normal catch can, which the filter surface area needs to change, which is just a mathematical calculation that I make, and the holes in here need to equal a surface area, which is why I can't, in this case, why I can't just have one big logo. I need to have a series of holes to make up the correct surface area. Underneath there is the splash plate, which makes the top of the catch can the breathing point rather than the bottom of these holes. The gases or the vapors need to travel up, down and out through the filter and then disperse out to the atmosphere. So that adds basically its own labyrinth system, similar to the inlet. So this originally started out as a sort of one-off design project, but I have designed it in a way that I can make more of them. The way that I physically design the product, and of course, because it's computer designed, I can make more of them. Since beginning this project, I've had some people express interest that they may have a need for a much larger catch can than the CAMS regulated 3 litre. So, of course, sometimes the CAMS regulation of 3 litre may not equal the engine's requirement. And when it comes to a catch can, there are 2 things that are super important. One is the baffle design, and 2 is the volume. So this catch can ticks both the boxes, because I suspect that this engine's going to need it, which is a 2530 or a 2630, 2530 probably, in a R34 GTT. And I also imagine that, so this fits with the fuse box removed, and I also imagine that it will fit, actually I almost know, because I've made one very similar to this for an S chassis before, an S13. So I imagine this with the fuse box or overflow, overflow removed, it would fit S13, S14, S15. Most likely this would also fit R33 and R32, if not most cars. But I will be making another one of these and offering it to the world. It will be almost identical to this one, and see if there's a market for a big old catch can like this. So I just wiped it down with isopropyl. I have burnished this. It is going to remain raw finish in the car. I don't know if the customer's going to powder coat this later on, but they've requested raw finish for now, so I've just burnished it. I have, which I've spoken about on old models or old designs, about the fold relief. On this one, even though this is the very first time I've ever made this, I did try and compensate for that bend relief. You can see on this hole here, how can I show you that? You can see where the bend relief is, and then the material steps in. I really tried to compensate on both of these folds. Say both of these, you can't see what I'm pointing at. So on both of these folds, where I've had trouble in the past, I really tried to compensate for that, and it worked out pretty good for a first try, which has actually given me enough confidence to make the second one without making any changes to this one here. G'day Chris, how you doing tonight? You gearing up for a bit of time off, I hope? When I tacked this together, I was wearing the wrong gloves today, and melted a little bit. I have a special pair of gloves that I wear, or a specific pair of gloves that I wear while I'm folding and burnishing and doing all the manual handling. And yeah, when I was tacking, I didn't even register. I just sort of felt gloves on hand, so all systems go. But I was wearing some, just some rigging gloves, some polyester rigging gloves. So I'm going to try and keep this as raw finish, so we'll get the alfoil out. And we'll just get a couple of pieces for the chill blocks later. I'm not quite sure how this can's going to weld up. Big long spans. I'll catch the fan blowing that alfoil. Big long spans have a tendency to warp. We'll try and tack as much as we can. I have put folds in the big panel on the top, obviously, which also adds some strength. Everything else seems to be a folded part, so we should be fine. Not really worrying about a problem I'm not going to have. We're down to 1/8 or a bit less than 1/8 of a bottle on the gas, but more often than not we're going to run well below 0. So just setting that the gas to 7 litres a minute at the torch. I've sharpened 3 tungstens. In typical fashion, I was sharpening tungstens as the stream countdown was rolling. So I got 2% lanthanated, 2.4mm tungstens. I really hoping to not dip the tungsten on this tonight, but what will be will be. I guess now that I've spoken it, it's more of an issue than it was beforehand. And I think we are about ready to get stuck into it. I need to put my arms on and dive in. Yeah, it's been the traffic has been chaos. Every single campsite is booked out. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, if you don't need to go away for family tonight, or this weekend rather, it's definitely a good one to stay home. I think I'm going to try and not come into work for the 4 days, but this week has been an absolute pig of a week, and I might have to sneak in just to make myself feel better, but yeah, good on you. Just to spend some time at home with the family, hopefully. All right. I think I feel so ill prepared. I've got a bit of relaxing music on in the background. I just got old Google to play some royalty-free lo-fi hip-hop. I don't know if you can hear it, but it shouldn't get the audio cut out on the stream with any luck. Okay, so I think I'm going to get started with the filter cradle. So weird to see it so large. It will be very interesting when it comes time to assemble this tank. All the filters that I cut, I have 3D printed jigs to cut them with, and then the outlet filter gets laser cut, which I'll be able to laser cut a new shape. But these this internal filter, I'm going to have to cut by hand. It might actually fit 2 of my normal size filters, but It's just always cool. I just always find it fun to, I guess I see the same thing so often, and I always find it super novel to see my shit, but a little bit different. And I'm just going to get the old metronome running in the background. Okay, so I think the welding camera is working, but I haven't lined it up. No, it's not working. How's that? We haven't even started welding and the thing's not working. I have done nothing to try and fix it. But I will definitely look into it in the future. I did notice yesterday that JB Hi-Fi have those Stream Deck things I've been talking about on special, so I think the universe is telling me to buy one. So start with, I'm going to round the tungsten, just popping it onto profile 10, which is 150 Hertz and 5% on the AC balance. I just pop in a welding screen. And just got a nice bowl on that tungsten. So I do have some my Velcro just came off my my torch cable sheath. I do have some laser tungstens that are the green tipped tungstens that I was going to do some testing with as well. I don't think I was going to do it tonight, but I don't think I'm going to do it on this catch can in particular. Haven't been a fan, but since doing these streams and playing around with some settings, I've actually found some settings that work on the trimix tungstens that I never used to like. So I think it's time to give the magical laser tungstens another test, I guess. So just get you in focus here and pop your welding helmet on. Jump in a welding screen. did that camera stay on? Yes, it sure did. I know the welding machine camera doesn't stay on. I'll try and remember not to switch to that screen, but it's just habit at the moment. So the part that I'm concerned about the most on this catch can, from a welding perspective, is this point right here. So this panel goes to a really fine point, and then it's on this curved piece, which actually has a gap at both ends. So basically, setting up a curved panel like this, especially one with a cutout on it, so on this corner here it's got an extra piece of geometry, really difficult to do. I should say really difficult for me to do in the software that I use to make these products. And basically the software doesn't have a provision for a slip roller, so the folding machine, you can put in the details and it will sort of calculate the extra material if any is required, etc., to the best of its ability. But when something's curved, it just makes a curved panel, and it's sort of up to you to curve it correctly. So either need a jig to curve to, or like this, reference another piece. So that's the only part that doesn't compensate for the other parts. Basically, I need to make the curved panel first, hide it, and then continue on with the rest of the model, or skinning the rest of the model. So quite often the curved panels will take 3 or 4 goes to get correct. Anyway, very long-winded version of getting to when it's a technical thing like this point here, and then there's gaps all around it. It does make it a potentially challenging little world, but I think we'll just go as cold as we possibly can and try and fusion weld as much as possible to sort of heat sink it all together, and fingers crossed it doesn't blow out as soon as we put heat to it. It did warp a lot when I tried to put that tack on, so I aborted the tack that's there, so it's not even tacked right there. I ended up having to straighten it out with a pair of pointy nose pliers. So let's tackle it and see what happens. Chuck your welding helmet on, get in a welding screen. Or instead, we'll dip the tungsten and deal with that ball plop instead. It's like the one instance where I guess I would have preferred that not to happen, of course. But you know, sometimes it's like that. Alright, so just clean that off because I don't particularly want to deal with having to pop the extra heat in to burn through anything or clean anything. I'd usually use the cleaning action on the machine to clean the area, but we're trying to keep this as cold as possible. So there's one of our 3 tungstens. So 2 remain. Might actually leave the point on this. I don't think I was in a good angle. So I'll leave the point on this for now and come back and clean it up momentarily. Pop your welding helmet on, jump in a welding screen. Yeah, I think I joined that up enough to have a pretty good heat sink on it for the weld. I'm not quite sure the order of welding on this tank yet. I'm going to start with this little, I might actually start with both of these ends that just go to folded points. Since they're just sort of a one direction weld. Let's zoom you in. Pop your welding helmet on and let's get it done. First I'm going to ball that tungsten, but I'll just do that and then we'll get that weld done. I definitely cursed it, hey. I just dipped the tungsten again. I shouldn't have said anything at the start. Shouldn't have said anything, but got to take full responsibility for that. I don't know what's going on tonight. It just happens sometimes. Really don't want to disrupt the look of the catch can. Which, definitely just take the time and clean it up as I go. That was actually a really dumb move. I should have fully repositioned. I don't know if you can see there, so move you down. I welded down here, and then there's just this little tiny bit right at the end there, just 10 mil there, and I just thought, oh, I may as well just go around that while I'm here, and was just not in a good position to do that. I shouldn't have done that. Guess we're going to be sharpening tungsten shortly. Alright, we'll swap that tungsten out. Maybe. Last one. So, copping a lot of grief with this bit of Velcro I've got down here too. Sticking to my glove. Okay, so sharpen the tungsten. I'll pop you on a welding screen. And let's see if I can get you to see something. So I'm going to be traveling down here. If I can put you there, you'll be able to see that. I'll try and slow down a little bit, take my time, and see if I can not dip the tungsten this time. Let me pop you in a welding screen and we'll get into it. You might be shocked, I did an entire weld without dipping the tungsten. Nice, nice little bead going down the front of the tank. This sits right behind the headlight, so I don't think you actually get to see that weld once it's fitted in the vehicle. I think this fold line here is the prominent point on this end of the tank. I don't actually have a an idea on how. God, I keep half talking and then tapping out halfway through. I don't have a method on how I plan to attack this. I'm just attacking it. Get a chill block up there, so I'm going to come down this side right here. Makes a difference when the tungsten doesn't go in the... I should stop talking about it, actually. That'll be the last time I mention it until it happens again. Yeah, really, really nice. Hopefully we can continue these beautiful welds around this whole tank. I really want to impress this customer, so I'm putting all my effort in tonight. Keep putting you in that welding screen with no action, or maybe I should just turn that camera off. Another really nice weld coming down the front corner of that catch can. Really excited to see this intersection. I always love three sides intersecting. So I think I might do this, I can't think tonight. There, I might do this sort of flat seam. So this is like a 15-degree intersection. I did want to do these three little panels in one piece, but I was worried that I wouldn't have enough room in the folder. Because this is more than 90 degrees overall, and my folder is only a 700 wide little guy. I didn't think I'd have the depth for these little ends here to do that whole panel. I have been eyeballing a bigger folder. I did sell my larger folder before I moved to this shop, because I rarely do anything larger, but it's the depth that's important as well. But I would like to get, it's a Hare and Forbes, just the little 700 folder from, or 600, I think it's 700 folder from Hare and Forbes. Been looking at their, I guess it's a meter long. I had their 1200 3-in-1, but I don't need the 3-in-1. I've got all the machines separately, which work better for me. But But yeah, looking at their machine, they have a better quality one than the little 700 guy that they sell. So I want to travel across here. I'm actually a little bit nervous about it. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm just going to put my third hand to stop the table rotating. And well, there's no time like the present, is there? I should actually go from the other direction. Just so we're not combating all the heat on that little point that we sealed up at the start here. Which I want to take that chill block away, so I think that might trip me up as I get down that end. And I think this is the way that it's going to go. I'll put that third hand back on there to stop that turning. Pop your welding helmet on, jump in a welding screen. Well, that felt like it took forever. The camera's still rolling, which is good. Just had the usual area where the baffle is on the inside, pull a bit of heat out as I went past. As I was going through this section here, I thought I probably should have put a couple of extra tacks on. Where that baffle was, I had to put quite a bit of heat in where the vertical sections of that baffle was. That baffle is pushing really hard up against there, and I can see a tiny little bit of distortion in this flat panel here. right there, but really it's sort of disguised by the weld. So, but got a really good straight weld. I always wonder, often I get, well, not so much these days, but in the past I used to get told quite often, and occasionally still, that using a prop is cheating. But I wonder how anyone would do a weld like that freehand. Even if it was a meter long, I would make a meter prop to do that weld. But yeah, that looks really good. So I think that pretty much covers. No, it doesn't. We still have this whole back section. Try and speak too soon. Yeah, for a 1300 by 4mm, that's for steel. I guess you would use something that size. I just don't fold anything. The largest thing that I fold, or the longest thing that I fold, is 450 long. And like in my very first commercial shop, I had a huge folder, like a 1300, which was huge for the work that I do, and just never used it. And the guys next to me, I was next door to a hot rod shop. They had a big 2.4 meter or 3 meter folder, and I would just go there if I had anything large. So I'm only in 100 squares here. It just, I don't know. Well, I fold 2mm aluminium. But yeah, picking something up for the right price, how can you say no? I'm just very mindful of the space, and also just the overkill of what I need. And I've also found over time that if I can't do the job, it's so much easier to say no to work that I don't want. Like I don't want anything bigger than this table in here. So yeah, see that's a good price for sure. But yeah, thinking about I don't even know what it's called, but they've got Heron Forbes have a little I think 600 or 700 machine. I think it's New Zealand built. Something just a little bit better quality than their brand, which is what I've got at the moment. Only because I'm starting to notice that the bearings are starting to chew out, and I don't think it's worth the effort to you know, try and re-sleeve it or anything like that. It is super modified though. I've cut slots in it and cut fingers down to shape to do certain jobs, but I have since bought two little 300 bench mount folders and a little 300 roller to specifically set up for certain jobs around here. And I actually, and I don't know if I've shown it before, but I bought two 2-ton hydraulic manual presses. God, I can't even think of what they're called. Arbor presses that I've just made jigs for all my little bracket folds, little 3D printed jigs. I thought it better to tool up selectively. But yeah, I've been looking at Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, the auctions, but yeah, you kind of want to get a big machine, but for all those reasons, I don't as well. I only want a bigger machine because I've been thinking about making bash plates for my car, but I think Boo's bash plates sell them for like 300 bucks. So there's just no point in me doing it. There's no point even making it for that. And support another business is a good thing. But the depth, the depth is something I'm thinking about. So let's weld this this last top weld. Got a tool block on there. Let's jump into a welding screen and get it done. I keep dropping into the wrong welding screen. Really happy with that weld. Just really uniform for a fairly long span. Put that in focus there. Really beautiful uniform weld. Just that little black dot you can see there is from the tack, I guess not dissimilar to the tack on this curved side down below. Just a little bit of extra etching from the tack. I think I actually tacked this on a pulse setting, so the tacks were probably a little bit larger than they needed to be. And through here, I think you can see it in the camera better than you can in real life. You can see where I've burnt, oh, over here it is, where I've burnished it. I've gone a little ham there, and it's actually, the aluminium had a little dent in it, which I cut this, no, I cut this face up because I engraved it. But yeah, there was just a little tiny dent in the material. So I just burnished it out, just sort of feathered it out there. Not really a great deal else I could do. So I'm gonna, this is the back of the catch can that you will never ever see once it's fitted in the car. But I'm going to travel across here next. So what I want to do is come down here, and then I'm going to spin it and do that. You'll get to see all of that. Let's just compromise on the focus. Pop your welding helmet on and we'll get in this screen. another really nice looking weld. I guess we just got off to a rocky start and making up for it now. Turned out really good. I was going to continue down on this little slope. Where can you see it? Back here. But given the events of the evening, I thought it might be best to reposition. Which I will just do that little L shape there. I'll just pop you on a welding screen. Okay, I might do the same on the other side. Obviously trying to be mindful not to melt my glove to it. And gonna buzz down here, rotate it and buzz down there. You'll be able to see that. We'll compromise on focus. Pop your welding helmet on. I want to just pop a chill block on there, so I'm going to tack this little corner up and then go ahead and weld that out. And again, lift the hood up and am super impressed with what I see. Looks really good. It's coming up really good. I'm very happy. He says with absolutely no emotion. Very happy. So we've got this weird curve join and then this one at the front here. There is a little bit of a gap just in here. You can barely see, oh, you can see that right there on camera. It actually opens up to about 1 millimeter and then about 1.5 millimeters on the other side. I'm in two minds whether to use a pulse setting, but given how great it's going tonight, let's just weld it out, hey? So I'm going to buzz across here. I could probably zoom in a little. That looks good. Pop your welding helmet on. We'll dive in a welding screen. Not super graceful, but it did get a pretty good result. So right at the end there, which you can definitely see if I tell you. So basically this last 1.5 inches, I was actually, that's where that gap was, and I was really pushing the puddle to try and match the width of the whole weld. I was also, I don't know what actually, there definitely was an attack there, but for some reason I had to readjust or do something in the middle there, which sort of shows, but still, like, still a bloody good weld, really. But yeah, really just had to manipulate that puddle to try and keep the width of the weld. You can see it, you can definitely see it in the cooling lines and in the etch, but you know, if this was getting powder coated, You would never know unless you saw this video. So I'm traveling in this direction. Pop this third hand on. We're going from here to here. You can see that. Pop your welding helmet on and get in the welding screen. I knew when I started that I would most likely not have enough filler, and I didn't, but if we play a game of spot the stop start, can we see it? I mean, I can see it. On this dab right here is the stop start. Managed to get the etch zone really good. Normally you can see the etch overlap on a stop start, but you can actually. I've got the etch line right on a dab, but looks bloody good. We got, I think we got one more weld to do. Big can like this definitely carries the heat well. I definitely don't feel the need to blow it down with air at this point. Let me zoom you out. This is going to be not a fun weld to try and get you guys to see, at least. So I'm just buzzing across in this direction. I'll pop your welding helmet on. We'll get a new filler rod and jump in a welding screen. All right. Had to do the same little trick up the top there, which was just sort of walk the puddle back and forth to get the width correct. See a little nick in the tank there. That's from that chill block I propped it up on. But yeah, that looks bloody good. Let's get it back down here. That wasn't bad at all. It was actually a really pleasant catch can to weld. A couple of little marks on it that I'll clean off when it cools down. I still have fittings to go. Oh god, you can't see anything. Zoom all the way out there. So still have the fittings to weld on. These are going to be all -12s. There's no drain yet, so I had originally designed the drain to be down in this front corner, but when I was just checking the mock-up before I started cutting, I am fairly sure that I'll be able to get the drain underneath, and I might even be able to incorporate it into the intercooler hole. So I ended up not cutting the hole, and I'll just drill it out myself. I just saw another little nick there which I'll brush out. Really difficult to keep a big tank like this. Not too bad. I wonder if I should wrap it in alfoil as I go. But anyway, let's get this camera back here and zoom in so it looks a bit nicer. Got some beautiful shiny welds on this catch can. I think the majority of the welding's on the underside on this one, but that came out fantastic. Really happy with that. I actually really like this. I'm going to move you again. The design of this this filter cradle with the holes in it, as opposed to I normally have this sort of ATP X design, which that surface area equates to 2 inches. This one's nearly 3 inches in surface area, but I actually like that. Super neat. I could probably do little hexagons or something in the future. I always want to keep my brand in there because I have had some issues with people rebranding my products, but yeah, so -12s on here. The fitting, I don't think I mentioned before, but I don't know what size. The customer has requested a specific size, and I don't know. So fittings will be another time. That's what we wanted to get done tonight. We're at 1 hour and 26, so we're about to do our 1.5 hour kickover for the stream. Yeah, I'm going to tag the customer in this and show him this video. How often do you get to see your product being welded in real time? I think that's bloody awesome. I'd love to do that for everybody, but I don't know how to show you the product you bought when I weld them before time. Anyway, welcome to the end of the stream. Chris, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I didn't watch the stream tonight, but anybody who stopped in and checked out the stream, or if anyone's here now, thank you so much for popping in and checking out what I've got going on. This was the first time making this catch can. It's never existed until now. R34 GTT. In my computer I called this Big Boy, which is why it's aka Big Boy in the title there, and it will probably get released to the public as the R34 GTT Big Boy catch can. Next week, so I'm going to take the weekend off. Next week I'm going to get back into making this stream more of a priority. It's been pretty relaxed for the last 10 days or so. I want to try streaming on multiple platforms at one time, and I got some ideas that I tried to execute this week and just didn't get to. So I guess, as always, if you've got any tips, pointers, ideas, thoughts, or criticisms of the stream, please let me know. I don't know what to do if you don't tell me. Everybody who watches the VOD after this stream was live, you rock as well. I really appreciate you checking out my stuff. There's a load of videos on this channel now. If you like what's going on, check them out. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. We're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. YouTube has a whole bunch of advertising features locked off until you get to that point. In the last 2 days, we had another 3 subscribers, Boris, Drobe, and BFI440 Mopar, which is a bloody cool username. Thank you guys for hanging around and seeing what I got going on. Have a great weekend. Have a great Easter if that's your thing. And I will see you maybe on the weekend, but most likely on Tuesday. Catch you later.